the desert was supposed to be romantic. Instead, it became the place where everything fell apart. Because in one of the most jaw-dropping moments of 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 Days Season 8 Episode 11, Ziad didn't just argue with Emma, he left her alone in the middle of the Moroccan desert. No dramatic goodbye. No looking back. Just sand, silence, and shock. And if you thought that was the worst part, Emma wasn't about to go quietly. Because seconds before Ziad disappeared into the dunes, she dropped a bomb that could change everything we thought we knew about him.
Yeah, this episode was messy. But to really understand how we got here, you have to rewind, because this relationship didn't explode overnight. It was a slow burn. The kind that looks sweet on the surface, until the cracks start screaming. And if you're the kind of viewer who loves catching the tiny red flags before they turn into full-blown disasters, stick around and consider subscribing. Around here, we don't just watch the drama, we unpack the truth TLC sometimes leaves between the edits. Because trust me, this story goes deeper than what aired. When Emma first flew to Morocco, she genuinely believed she was walking into her forever. She had invested emotionally, financially, and honestly, blindly. Like a lot of Americans entering long-distance relationships on this franchise, she carried that familiar cocktail of hope and anxiety. Visa pressure, time pressure, money pressure, the holy trinity of 90-day stress. Ziad, on the other hand, presented himself as calm, grounded, and patient. Almost too patient. He spoke softly, moved carefully, said all the right things about trust and loyalty. But viewers online were already side-eyeing the situation. Because sometimes the quiet ones aren't peaceful. They're calculating. And the first real crack appeared when Ziad learned about Emma's previous engagement. Now, on paper, that shouldn't be relationship ending. People have pasts. Adults know this. But for Ziad, it hit a nerve that was deeper than what he admitted on camera. You could see the shift immediately. His tone changed. His body language stiffened. And suddenly, the man who had been all smiles started asking very pointed questions. When exactly did this happen? Why didn't you tell me sooner? What else are you hiding? Emma tried to explain. She really did. But her delivery, defensive, slightly dismissive, only made things worse. Instead of reassuring him, it confirmed his growing suspicion that she hadn't been fully transparent. And that's when the desert trip turned from romantic getaway into emotional warfare. At first, the tension was subtle. The kind you feel more than hear. Short answers, forced smiles, long pauses that felt heavier than the Moroccan heat. But then Ziad did something that shocked even longtime franchise viewers. He shut down completely. No yelling, no dramatic explosion, just cold distance. And honestly, sometimes that's worse, because Emma could feel it slipping through her fingers in real time. You could see the panic start to creep in, the way she kept pushing for reassurance, the way her voice got tighter with every question he refused to answer. This wasn't just about a past engagement anymore. This was about trust, and Ziad was already halfway out the door. Social media caught the shift immediately. Within minutes of the episode airing, TikTok edits started popping up pointing out Ziad's micro-expressions. Over on X, viewers were split right down the middle. Some people were firmly Team Ziad. If she hid something that big, I'd walk too. Others weren't buying it. He was looking for an excuse. Watch his face. Meanwhile, Reddit detectives were already digging through older posts, timelines, and screenshots trying to piece together what TLC might not have shown. Because something felt off. And then came the moment nobody was ready for. Out there in the middle of endless sand, with the sun beating down and cameras rolling, Ziad finally said the words that changed everything. He couldn't trust her. Just like that. No softness. No second chances. Emma's face froze. Not dramatic crying at first, not yelling. Just that hollow, stunned look people get when the breakup actually lands. Because I don't think she believed he would really do it. But he did. Ziad stood up, packed his things, and started walking away. And here's where the scene crossed from painful into brutal. Because he didn't even look back. You could hear the wind. You could see Emma standing there in the sand like the last 10 months of her life had just evaporated. It was cold, it was uncomfortable, and honestly, it was one of the harshest exits we've seen this season. But what happened next? That's the part TLC didn't fully unpack. Because just before Ziad disappeared completely, Emma fired back with something that made even longtime viewers sit up. She hinted at a secret. Not just a messy detail. Something illegal. The show moved past it quickly, almost too quickly, but online. Oh, people noticed. Within hours, fan pages were dissecting every frame. Lip readers were slowing down clips. Comment sections were exploding with theories about what exactly Emma was referring to. Was it immigration-related? Financial? Something from Ziad's past relationships? Nobody has confirmed it yet. But the way Ziad reacted in that moment, the sudden stiffness, the flash of panic before he walked faster, told viewers everything they needed to know. Because if you're completely innocent, you usually don't rush off into the desert like your Uber just arrived. Midway through the episode, just when viewers thought the chaos couldn't get messier, the focus shifted thousands of miles away to Belize, and somehow, the drama followed. Aviva and Stig were supposed to be the calmer couple this season. Spoiler alert, not anymore. Because Aunt Spring came in swinging. And when I say swinging, I mean armed with receipts, photos, texts, and yes, a character witness. If you've watched enough of this franchise, you already know, when an aunt shows up with evidence, somebody's about to sweat. The confrontation started almost politely. Almost. But underneath that calm surface was pure tension waiting to snap. Spring didn't waste time. She laid it out directly. Stig had been communicating with another woman. Not casually, not vaguely, specifically. Stig's defense: she's just a fan. Now listen, in the 90-day universe, that line has about the same success rate as, I can explain, and, it's not what it looks like. Aviva tried to play it cool. Very cool, almost too cool. She kept her composure, nodded along, asked measured questions. But if you watch closely, and viewers definitely did, you could see the micro cracks forming. Because Stig wasn't reacting like someone who felt falsely accused. He was reacting like someone calculating damage control in real time. Eyes darting, voice tightening, over-explaining small details while avoiding the big ones. Classic. Social media lit up again. TikTok creators started side-by-side comparisons of Stig's body language. Reddit threads labeled him, visibly sweating. YouTube comment sections were brutal. And here's where things get interesting, and where TLC may have softened the blow. Multiple viewers pointed out timeline inconsistencies between when the alleged messages were sent and what the show presented. Some fans even claim the off-camera context makes Stig look worse, not better. Nothing officially confirmed, but enough smoke to keep the internet very busy. Quick moment here: if you're still watching and catching these little details with us, drop a comment later telling me whose side you're on, because this one has the fandom seriously divided. Back in Morocco, Emma's situation hadn't magically improved. Because once the cameras pulled back, reality set in hard. She wasn't just emotionally stranded. She was logistically stranded too. Transportation, communication, safety. These are the unglamorous parts of international relationships that reality TV rarely highlights, but viewers noticed. And many weren't thrilled with how abruptly Ziad walked away knowing she was in an unfamiliar environment. Sympathy for Emma started rising fast online, even among viewers who initially sided with Ziad on the trust issue. Because there's a difference between ending a relationship and abandoning someone in the middle of nowhere. And this is where the biggest mid-episode twist quietly slipped through. Several sharp-eyed fans noticed that Emma's illegal secret comment may connect to earlier episodes where Ziad was unusually vague about certain aspects of his work and travel history. Again, nothing officially proven. But the pattern, it's raising eyebrows. Because reality TV has taught viewers one thing over the years: when someone gets very defensive very quickly, there's usually more to the story. By the end of the episode, both couples were hanging by threads. Emma, humiliated, shaken, and possibly sitting on information that could blow Ziad's image apart. Aviva, outwardly composed but clearly processing the possibility that her relationship might not be what she thought. And Stig, let's just say she's just a fan, defense didn't exactly calm the internet. But the biggest reveal might still be coming. Because insiders and preview clips suggest Emma isn't done talking yet. If what she hinted at turns out to be true, and that's still a big if, Ziad's desert exit might not be remembered as a strong boundary moment. It might be remembered as a strategic retreat. So now the question everyone's arguing about online is simple, but very divided. Did Ziad stand up for himself after discovering a real breach of trust? Or did Emma truly dodge a much bigger bullet than she realizes? Drop your take below, because the fandom is split right down the middle on this one. And if this episode proved anything, it's that these stories rarely end where TLC fades to black. Stay close, because something tells me the real fallout hasn't even started yet.